First things first, Leon, how are you?
I'm good. I'm great. How are you?
I'm alright, thank you. So, before we get into the music you've been making lately, I'd like to jump back to the beginning. And you grew up in a very musical family.
Yeah.
When did you first notice that you liked music as well?
Oh, that was, I don't even remember, because it was always around me, like growing up, and I think I don't really know, like I always listened to music, I guess, like a lot of people, and different kinds of music, and it's always been around me. It's always been like in my ears and like sleeping or like whenever I'm, whatever I'm doing, I always had music around me.
Did your parents teach you theory? Did they sit you down and say, okay, well, this is...
Yeah, the thing is, like, I had a teacher in high school who taught theory, and I was like his nightmare. I was his nightmare because I refused to learn, to read notes and all that. And my mom actually, like, we practiced cello together, but I refused to read the notes. So I was really bad at it. Okay. I started understanding it like a little too late.
Right.
Because I stopped with classical music when I was like 20, and that's when I kind of learned notes. And then I was like, well, no.
Never mind. But then, I read you.
I didn't answer your question, by the way. Sorry.
No,
my dad tried, but my mom tried too, but it wasn't.
It wasn't for you.
It was a lost case.
But so then, because you grew up on a lot of American music, as you mentioned, in other interviews, when did you think, well, I can do something with this? I can use this, or I can use this as an expression, or?
I don't know. I think when I started playing cello when I was like 5-6 years old, I felt very like, it's such a, you really use your body and like emotions when you're playing. It's very strange, but when you're playing cello, it's like a very emotional instrument, like my mom says. And I feel like that was a very like good like platform to like express myself. And then I started singing very early on, and like I just loved like disappearing into like writing music and being in my room. My sister would like have boyfriends, but I would just sit in my room like.
What did you write about?
Love that I had not experienced. I was like very like late with all that, but I was such a romantic from like a very early age, so it doesn't really like make sense.
Well, I'll get back to that, because obviously you do write a lot about relationships and love now, so yes. we'll get to that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, well, the type of music that you listen to a lot was, I believe, was soul, and then what did you find in those kind of, like Janis Joplin and those kind of artists?
I think it was something in that, like, it felt very powerful, and I love that everything just felt very like dramatic. Like Janis Joplin is such a like dramatic and like, but so carefree, and I listened so much to Stevie Wonder growing up, and I just like would like learn all his runs, and like everything is singing, and just like really like just getting into all that. I just love the way they were singing and like how they were, and the I don't know, I just loved it from the first time I heard it. And
then I couldn't find the name of this group, but you had a hip hop / soul group.
Oh, good that you didn't find the name, because I haven't told anyone. Okay. I had like a soul band, because I wrote songs in high school. I wrote from a very early age, but then I like collected a lot of songs, and then my classmate that I've known since I was like 10. He was like, can't you just like start a band, and then I can play in it, and then we can like all play in it. So we started rehearsing the songs and playing around at different spots in Stockholm. But I didn't rap.
Okay.
No, it was like hip hop, like neo soul.
Right.
Very Erykah Badu, D'Angelo inspired jazz, a lot of like jazz influences.
Did you like performing straight away?
I loved singing live, but I was very like shy. like being on stage, I had no idea like what to say. Like off stage, I love talking, but as soon as I got on stage, I was like, I have nothing to say. How do you talk to an audience? Like, but I loved like singing, and I loved, you know, I loved to like play cello in front of people.
Okay.
But the talking part was very like scary.
And then fast forward a little bit, then you start thinking about doing something for yourself, your own music. You mentioned that you wrote of your inexperience of love, but then did it take you long to start writing songs that you thought, well, okay, now I'm capturing what I'm thinking, and now
I think like when I was a kid, and because I started writing like songs when I was very like 8 years old, like that, and then I think I really started writing like very like personal songs when I was like 16, 17, and then when I was 18, I went through this, you know, very dramatic thing, and I just, you know, all of these songs came out of me, and that's kind of when it started, you know, feeling like, I don't know, after that I just became very honest in everything.
Was that difficult?
No, not difficult. I just realized how honest I was when I like played my songs for my parents, and I was like, I don't know if my dad should like hear this, because it was literally like my diary with melodies, and then my mom and dad would listen, and I was like, oh no, right. Now they know what I'm like going through, but not difficult writing it, you know, for myself.
Okay. Because, well, this is, I'm guessing, but a breakup was involved, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it was just a weird, very like long thing that I know, like, it was like my first real experience of like heartbreak, and I like didn't know when to like not go back to the person, so I like kept coming back to the person, so I like, oh god, I wrote so many songs about him, like a lot of songs.
Do you know if he heard the songs?
I think I told him one time when I was out, and he came to like, he was like, I'm coming to your show, and I was like, no, like, don't do that. But he didn't come to the show, and I ended up being very disappointed. I'm telling you a lot of stuff here that I haven't told anyone. Then afterwards I was like, I've written songs about you, and then he listened to it, and he was like, oh, cool. And I was like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't hang out anymore.
but so the next question is, did it help? Did it help you kind of work through those emotions and work through those?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm also like, there's a lot of confrontation in my songs that I usually didn't like use in real life.
Okay.
So I felt like I could confront people in my lyrics that I had a really hard time, you know, saying out loud to the people. So yeah, a lot of help, I'd say, for myself.
This is gonna be maybe sound weird, but like you say, sometimes it's easier to sing about something than kind of directly talk to. But then, do you know, because that's why I asked if he heard them, do you know if the people that you write about hear them, or is that still a bridge too far in a way?
I have a few people who know that I've written about them. Some took it better, some took it a little worse.
But sorry, but in the sense that do you tell them, well, hey, I kind of want to tell you this
about you.
Yeah.
I think some people maybe feel that it's about them. Sometimes I'm very specific, and sometimes, because in the songs I used to write for my like soul band, I was very like specific. I was like, we went to this place, and then we talked about this, and then we did that. But now I'm more like a little more low-key in describing exactly everything. But I think the people that I'm writing about might feel it too. If, you know, I think there's certain hints here and there that they know, like, okay, this song might maybe be about me. I don't know.
But then, and obviously, like you say, it's very personal to you. It's close to you. So what does it feel like then that other people, because you put it online and then other people react to it, so what does it feel like that people can connect to what you are going through?
It's really amazing. In the beginning I was like, it's so crazy, like I just wrote this song and I'm like, I didn't expect anyone to hear it, so the fact that people like connected so much with Tired of Talking was just like incredible, and it's just the best feeling, kind of. It's strange because that's like you really like feel like that this is the meaning of everything, right. Or like to me, like writing this music, and for me and for the other people. Now I'm being very vague.
No, but I kind of get it, because is there a point where you think about what your music will do to other people? It's while writing, is that in the back of your mind how people might
react? I think more about like I love experimenting, and like I feel like I have different sides to me musically, because I listened to so much different music when I was growing up. So it was a lot of indie, a lot of like rock, classical music, jazz. And then, so now when I'm putting out music, I'm like, oh, maybe that song sounds a little more like soul. And the next song I'm going to put out is like so different from the latest song I put out. Then I'm like, maybe people think that I'm a little like all over the place, but it's just because I love, I love so much different kinds of genres that I really can't decide to just go with one.
So finally then, because I believe am I right in saying that your debut album is completely done now?
That's the thing. I say that it's done, but then I always change my mind. I just feel like it's not coming out yet, and I've been working on it for so long and written so many songs. But I feel like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, it's done. But then I'm writing another song and I'm like, okay, it's not done. But it's in the work.
So final question then, what do you, because you were working and like you say, still adjusting certain things, so what do you want people to hear when they put on your debut album?
Hopefully something new. New stories, and I'm writing about, from different angles now, new angles, and different experiences, new experiences. So hopefully something new, and I'm experimenting with different sounds. So yeah, I just hope that people like it. I don't know.
All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.